Welcome back. In our last conversation, we dove deep into the concept of scientific loopholes and how they relate to manifestation. We explored the idea that certain gaps in the fabric of reality, places where the rules of the universe seem to break down, might actually hold the key to unlocking powerful manifestation techniques. If you haven't seen that video yet, I recommend going back to check it out. But today, we're going deeper. We're going to explore how you can use these loopholes, not just understand them conceptually, but actively tap into their energy to bring your desires into being. I'm going to show you how to connect the concept of loopholes to your own manifestation practices, and how to physically cultivate and channel that energy into the things you want to create. Let's get started. When you think of a loophole, you might picture a tiny crack or gap in something solid, an opening where things don't follow the usual rules. In science, these loopholes are usually areas where our understanding of the universe doesn't quite add up, places where laws of nature seem to break down or bend. But what if, instead of seeing these gaps as anomalies, we viewed them as opportunities, places where the ordinary rules of reality shift, allowing us to bend the laws of energy, time, and space in our favor? This is exactly where the manifestation potential lies. Just as quantum mechanics reveals that particles can exist in multiple places at once, defying our typical understanding of space, you too can tap into this principle. By expanding your consciousness and aligning with these loopholes, you begin to bend the very fabric of your reality. What was once rigid and predictable, like the laws of physics, becomes malleable, just as your thoughts and energy can become malleable in the process of manifestation. The key to understanding how to use these loopholes is recognizing that they aren't just scientific oddities, they are energetic shifts. These gaps in the structure of reality represent a space where energy moves differently, where traditional patterns don't hold. When you apply this idea to manifestation, you realize that you don't have to play by the same rigid, predictable rules of your current circumstances. You can use these gaps to slip past limitations to change your reality. Let's look at it from the perspective of quantum mechanics. In the quantum realm, particles behave in ways that defy the logic of the physical world. They can be in two places at once, they can change their state simply by being observed, and they can travel back in time in some sense. All of these paradoxes are loopholes in our classical understanding of the universe. But they're also an invitation for us to expand our perception of what's possible. If particles can behave in ways that don't follow the usual rules, what might this mean for you, for your thoughts, your desires, your ability to create the life you want? To use this as a manifestation technique, you must first understand that the energy of your thoughts is similarly fluid. Just as particles can shift and change when observed, your desires can shift and change when focused on. Imagine that every thought you have is like a particle in a quantum system. When you focus on a desire, when you observe it deeply with intention and energy, you collapse the wave of possibilities into a singular reality. But this is where the loopholes come into play. Just as there are infinite possibilities in the quantum field, there are infinite ways for your desires to manifest. You don't have to wait for a specific outcome to happen in a specific way. If you're locked into the belief that things can only manifest in one particular manner, you're missing the loophole. The key is to release the expectation of how things should unfold. Let go of the fixed idea of what your manifestation should look like. Instead, trust that the universe has infinite ways to deliver your desires, just as quantum particles have infinite ways of behaving. Now let's take a moment to focus on how we can physically imagine these loopholes and use them as an energetic tool. You can think of these scientific loopholes as points of energetic expansion, places where reality seems to shift, bend, or even break down. They're like tiny pockets of infinite potential where anything can happen. These pockets are always around you. They exist in the space between every thought, every desire, and every action. To manifest through these loopholes, you need to cultivate the ability to see and feel these energetic gaps. You can start by visualizing them in your mind's eye, picturing small cracks or spaces that exist between the physical world and the unseen energy that flows beneath it. Picture these cracks like tiny windows opening up to a vast, endless field of possibilities. Every time you visualize your desire, imagine this field of infinite potential expanding, drawing your energy into it. Take a moment right now, wherever you are, Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and picture a small crack opening in the space in front of you. This crack represents a loophole, a point where the rules of the material world no longer apply. In this space, time, matter, and energy all shift. Feel yourself expand into this space. Feel the boundaries of your current reality soften as you imagine this loophole stretching wider. In this space, anything is possible. This is where your desires can manifest effortlessly. In this pocket of expansion, there are no limits. Now, as you breathe, imagine that your desires, whether they are financial, relational, health-related, or anything else, are slipping into this space. See them as energy, moving freely through this loophole, bypassing any obstacles, and finding their way to you. The more you practice this visualization, the more you'll begin to feel the shift. It's not just a mental image, it's an energetic experience. You'll feel your vibration rise as you align with this space of limitless potential. Your energy will expand and grow, and this will start to translate into your physical reality. Just as quantum particles collapse into specific states when observed, your desires will begin to collapse into a tangible form in your life, shifting from the realm of possibility to the realm of reality. Another way to strengthen this practice is to work with the concept of time. In a loophole, time itself isn't fixed, it bends and shifts. So too can you bend time when you manifest. If you're waiting for a specific outcome, don't see time as a linear progression. Instead, see time as a fluid, malleable energy. Visualize yourself being ahead of your manifestation as if it has already occurred. Feel it as though it's already present in your life. By collapsing time in this way, by placing yourself in a parallel future where your desires are already a reality, you allow the manifestation to unfold in the present moment. The key here is releasing control over the how of manifestation. If you remain rigidly focused on one way for things to happen, you're blocking yourself from the energy of the loophole. Remember, these loopholes are infinite, and the universe works in mysterious, unseen ways. Your desires don't need to fit into a specific mold. The more you allow space for the unexpected, while holding the clarity of your intention, the more you'll find yourself stepping into the flow of these energetic loopholes. When you consciously direct your energy through these cracks, you're stepping into a space of potential that isn't governed by the limitations of your current reality. You're operating outside the normal laws of cause and effect, where anything is possible, and your manifestation is already on its way to you. As you work with this technique, you'll notice that the more you focus on the energy of the loophole, rather than the manifestation itself, the more effortless the process becomes. Your desires will seem to slip right through the cracks of reality, bypassing resistance, doubt, and limitation. And as if by magic, your life will start to shift in ways that feel less like effort and more like ease. Remember, you don't have to figure it all out. Just like quantum particles can't be fully predicted or understood, your desires don't need to fit into a known formula. The universe has infinite ways of manifesting what you need. Your job is to step into the flow, to use the loopholes, to create an opening for your desires to come through without resistance. In this way, you're not just manifesting, you're bending the rules of reality itself.